John Campbell utilizes the great game of basketball to develop the full authenticity of his athletes, both on the court and in the classroom. He's entering his 8th season as the head men's basketball coach at the University of Toronto. He knows how to build a winning culture, both in the gym and in the grand experiment we call life. He prides himself on giving his athletes the foundational structure they need to succeed in athletics and beyond their playing careers. He joined me this week to reflect upon the impact he's made in the greater Toronto area, both for the university and the community at large. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Campbell began his remarks by reflecting upon the 8 years he's been at the helm of the Varsity Blues and the impact he's made on both the program and the greater Toronto area.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've tried to do, and that I think us as a staff at U of T have tried to do, is create a sense of selflessness and dedication within our players. And so it's not specific to basketball, but more specific to whatever they choose to do in life, while they're playing basketball, but also beyond. So I think we've tried to really create an environment where we're trying to develop people and helping people, maximize their potential as much as anything.
And let's dive into a little bit of creating relationships, because I know a large part of coaching is the mentorship aspect of it. So I'm curious about asking you, what's been the best part about formulating relationships with your players during the 8 years you've been there?
I think the biggest thing is just seeing them develop over that time, and in some cases they deal with a lot of adversity at different times during your relationship. To be able to see them, I guess, encounter the adversity, but then work through it and come out the other side of it in a much better place is pretty incredible. And when you see players graduate and move on to careers outside of basketball and start families and things like that, I think in a lot of ways, it's witnessing the growth and feeling as though not necessarily playing a role, but having a great opportunity to witness it really in close range.
And coach, as you know, when you have a platform such as yours as the head coach of a major university, you also encourage your players, I'm sure, about the value of community service. So I'm wondering your level of commitment to making sure that your players give back to the community they serve.
Yeah, I think obviously when we're in person a little bit more, then it becomes much easier for our players to organize and do some things. I think what we've tried to do this year most often is to raise issues and to just encourage our guys to do some research, to figure out the things that really affect them on a personal level, and then how do we affect change now and contribute, not just to your own personal perspective, but to those people around you. And so I think the people in university have a real luxury in a sense that they're able to really sort of experience that growth over their time at university and encounter new ideas and maybe get a different perspective on the world. we have students from so many different places, both in our program but on our campus. And I think just the opportunity for us all to see other people's perspectives and then be able to hopefully go back and have an impact on that.
Coach, how would you describe your coaching philosophy, and how do you connect with players on the court?
I think the biggest thing for us is we try and focus on the moment, as an athlete, as a coach, and what can we do in this moment right now to improve, to perform at a high level, and to maybe make an impact. And again, I think it's that philosophy that we're able to kind of cultivate in the basketball arena, but that you want to be able to take with you after that, to be able to I think focus a little bit just on how you make the best of every moment. From a communication perspective, I would say I try and be genuine and open. One of the things that's happened in COVID is there's been a lot of time away from the court where we've been able to try and cultivate relationships and get to know our players on a different level, because even though we don't see them as much, we get a chance to talk about other things other than basketball. So that's been an interesting sort of benefit of the COVID pandemic for us.
And Coach, I know that you have some international experience serving as an assistant coach for Team Canada, and you also helped Canada to a silver medal in Switzerland. So I'm wondering if you can give me an overview of your international experience as well.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate. I think I started with the Canadian women's team back in sort of early 2000 or 2001 as an assistant to Alison McNeil, and then to have a chance to contribute to Leo Routen's staff as a video coach in 2008, and then the FISU Games. It's really been an incredible opportunity, not just to work with great coaches and be a part of a staff, but work with great players, but in other cases, just to see the world. And I've had good fortune to go to places that I never would have dreamed to have a chance to see over my life, and to go there, learn a little bit more about the culture, meet athletes and coaches from all different parts of the world is really a gift, I think, in a lot of ways. And it's sort of what basketball has given back to me, for sure.
And I'm curious to ask you, what do you think is the keys or the ingredients to developing a championship culture?
Yeah, I think it's really trying to create a mindset for everyone involved that we need to be greater than the sum of our parts, and that idea of not only how do I play well, but how do I help my teammates have success, and as coaches, how do we help our athletes have success, instead of sort of constantly looking out for our own personal views. It's how do we put the view of the team and that sort of vision as the primary focus for us. And I think especially when you can get your best players to adopt that mentality, you really have a chance to be a successful team.
And off the court, Coach, I want to go back to the value of human connection for just a second. What is the one life lesson you hope your players take away from being a part of your program, which they can apply to the rest of their life after basketball is over?
Yeah, I think it's really that mindset that we have to be part of something bigger than ourselves. And, whether, you're giving financially, you're giving in your time, or you're just appreciative of perspective. I guess I want our athletes to always graduate and know that they're, part of a global citizenship. And how do we have a positive effect on that on a daily basis? And, far more so than talking about things and everything else, it's how do we allow our actions to speak for ourselves, and really to try and again, just each day contribute positively to the world.
And you had mentioned earlier that this COVID pandemic has allowed you to connect with your athletes in different ways. But I'm curious from an athletic standpoint, how have you managed the COVID pandemic, and how excited are you to get back on the course?
Yeah, it's been a real challenge, and in Toronto, we haven't been in the gym since sort of the early part of November, I guess, and so you're constantly dealing with Zoom meetings like we're in right now, and phone calls and things like that. And we do team workouts online, and that's been positive. But I think our athletes and coaches are all really excited to just get back into the gym and really rebuild those relationships. And I think we'll all have so much positive emotion just from the opportunity to participate again that the relationships are going to get closer very quickly.
Coach, I'm curious to get your perspective on the growth of wheelchair basketball and the opportunity of social connection for people with disabilities as well. Coach, I was born with what's called spastic quadriplegia cerebral palsy, and I always look for values of social connection for people with disabilities. So I'm curious to ask you about the rise in popularity of wheelchair basketball as well.
Well, I think, in Canada's case, the success of our wheelchair basketball team has been incredible. And that's probably over the last 20 years. I know certainly in my time in the Maritimes, great athlete, Dave Durapos, who's from New Brunswick. And so I think it's been really positive to have everyone have a chance to actually experience playing wheelchair basketball as well, and whether you're able-bodied or not, to be able to play the game and see the common points between the two games is incredible. And then I think also just to be able to participate and see the athleticism of the game is I think a great experience. And now with I think the training group working out of the Pan Am Center in Scarborough, I think it's really helped the athletes have that permanent sort of training opportunity, and it's helped the growth of the game as well.
Coach, I'm curious, away from the court, what do you like to do for fun, and how do you sort of find your center away from basketball? What's your release away from basketball when you're not coaching?
Yeah, and we've had a lot of chance to over the last year or so to really work on that, and I try and I guess exercise and stay fairly active. Unfortunately, I'm not playing the game anymore, so other than in the driveway with my daughters, but really I would say physical activity, and then I read a lot of fiction, and now I'm just trying to participate on a daily basis in my family life, and 2 daughters in high school, and dogs and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the grounding and the entertainment away from the game.
And how's the digital online learning going for your daughters, Coach? How are surviving that? That going okay?
Yeah, they're doing well. I mean, I think they certainly miss their friends, and they miss getting away to school. We have sort of a small house, so the 4 of us are always in meetings and online at the same time. But they're doing quite well. So they're having some success, and we can't really complain at all about how it's gone.
Fantastic. And my final question for you this morning, Coach, I'm wondering if you've given any thought to your legacy as a coach, a father, and a person. What do you want your legacy to be most defined by?
I think the biggest thing is sort of what we've tried to get across to our players is just, again, that idea that, not only are we trying to have some success on the basketball court, but more than anything, we're trying to contribute to the success of the people around us. And how do we try and do that on a daily basis? And, to be in my position and get to work with young people over, a really important time of their lives is pretty fulfilling. And if you can just kind of make that connection and get them to think about their place in the world and how they can sort of positively affect the world, I think it's pretty easy to get motivated on a daily basis.
And Coach, if anyone wants to support the University of Toronto's men's basketball program, what's the best way they can do that?
We have on our team webpage, we have a link right now that takes you directly to donations. And if there's different ways they want to donate where it's not financial, just to reach out to me via email, and we'll make the connection and find a way to create that relationship.
Fantastic, Coach. I really want to thank you for your time, your expertise, and the work you do to mentor our future leaders of tomorrow. I really want to thank you for your time this morning and for joining me. It's most appreciated.
My pleasure, Kevin. Take care. And it's been great talking to you.